Job hunt and mining information video. Welcome to Australian Mining for New Starters, and in today's video we're going to have a look at where the jobs are in the industry, where we can help you get a job, and we're going to talk about the myths about getting into the industry. So I wrote something a little while ago that I've updated, and we'll run through that again so you can have a look. But first off, let's go over and have a look at our mining truck. And like I say at this point of every video that we do, if this was 5 years ago, this page would have been full of surface truck driving jobs. Now that's a surface truck driving job, but they want you to move to Kalgoorlie to get it. That's an entry-level underground job. It's an entry-level underground job. It's a truck driving underground job. Oh, sorry, that's the one in Kalgoorlie, the surface. That's an underground job. That's a surface job. That's an underground job. It's an underground job. It's another underground job. More underground jobs. You get the idea. The majority of these jobs that you're looking at are in the hard rock underground mining industry. So where are they? These are all the gold and copper mines around the country that are actively looking for people at the moment. And as we've established in the job ads, the majority of these jobs are underground. So a good place where they're looking for people at the moment is in the middle of New South Wales. There's lots of jobs there. North of Queensland, WA, and the copper mines in South Australia are all really looking for people. So if we go over to our mining jobs to apply for page, these are all the jobs we think you should be applying for once you've done the training. And as you can see, there's lots of stuff in New South Wales, Victoria, WA, New South Wales, WA, South Australia, Queensland. There's jobs all over the country. So let's have a look at the prices. First off, let's have a look at the gold price. And this has hit another record price in both US and Australian dollars. This isn't the spot price. The spot price on the market is $4,907.34. This is the price that it would cost you to go and buy an ounce if you went into the Perth Mint and wanted to buy it. So it's $41 off $5,000. And in US dollars, it's well over $3,000 now. That's why there's all the activity on the gold side of things, and copper's exactly the same. It's over $15,000 a tonne. If we have a look at the coal side of things, though, unfortunately, the price is still under $100 a tonne. And at that price, it makes a lot of things very iffy, unfortunately. And if we look over at the iron ore price, it's around that $100 a tonne mark. But as we've talked about already, and as we will talk about in the later part of this video, most of these jobs in iron ore have all gone driverless, unfortunately. Let's have a look at the blog that I wrote years ago that I've just updated, and I've moved it over to the Mining New Starters page here. So it's myths about getting into the mining industry, so you can have a look at all the stuff that you should be reading in this column here if you're a new starter. And myths about getting into the industry. So if you or your friend are looking to get into the industry, there are 5 myths about getting in a mining job that will save you a lot of time and money. All right, the first one is the industry uses a national ticketing system. All right, it doesn't. Only part of the industry uses the R2 ticketing system. The rest of the industry uses its own independent, non-transferable ticketing system. So let's have a quick read. All the hard rock mines around the country are required to issue their own on-site tickets and procedures. These are non-transferable. When you move sites, you're required to do new equipment tickets and procedures on the new site. The R2 ticketing system is only used in the construction, shutdown, oil and gas and coal in Queensland. So you can't use it in coal in New South Wales. They want to issue their own on-site tickets as well. It's not used in the actual mining side of the industry, which I know is very strange. This is because all the mines use the state system that the mine is located in. Each state has its own mines inspectorate that is responsible for all the mines in that state, and they get the mine to issue their own on-site equipment tickets and procedures. These are non-transferable, and when you move sites, even if with the same company, you have to redo everything on the new site you go to. Making the owners of the mine responsible in this way has improved safety dramatically, and it all stems from a system that requires each site to be individually responsible for everybody working on that site. So if you or your friends are thinking about doing some of these tickets, then just take 5 minutes to look at some of the job ads, which we will do a little bit later when we look at the underground job ads, to see if any of the equipment, if they require equipment tickets or not. FYI, they don't. So over the years, I've watched lots of people waste money on tickets that only hurt their chances of getting a job. So this is really important to listen to this, because this happens a lot. So when you send your resume in full of R2 tickets to an actual mining job, like a nipper or a truck job or something like that, it gets culled straight away, because all you're doing is saying that you don't know how their mind works. You're coming at the employers with a resume full of tickets that they can't use. What does this say about you and the research you've done to get into the industry? What does this say about the sort of employer you're going to make? I know lots of bosses think that not a very good one, unfortunately. And that's the way it works. If you come at the employers with a bunch of equipment tickets that they can't use, all you're screaming at them is that you don't know how their mind works. Or worse, that you've done your research and this is what you've come up with. You've been sold the magic bean line, from a bunch of resume writers that don't know how the mind works, or have got no idea how mining works. So the next myth is a FIFO job will lead to a mining job. I've started calling this the magic bean plan, but you could call it the Hail Mary plan. It's a plan that just doesn't work out very often. So all you have to do to get your foot in the door is, and then you can move over from there. That's the advice everywhere on the internet. It's completely wrong, and the reason I call it the magic bean plan. Only a very small amount of people are able to make this happen. The majority, 95%, get stuck in the area of the industry they started in. With the poaching rules between employers on site having been around for 25 years now, it makes it almost impossible to make the jump onto an actual mining job from a civil shutdown or a utility job. Poaching rules on most sites say that you have to go off site for months, normally 6 months, before you can come back on site with a different employer. This means that most people get trapped into a utility role on not a lot of money because they can't move jobs on the same site, and the mining contact they made can't help them get a job on another site, so they get stuck in the utility job. And I've watched that happen for 25 years now, and it is what it is. The majority of people, if you go in as a shutdown worker, you get trapped in shutdown work. If you go in a utility worker, you're going to stay a utility worker. There are a very small amount of charismatic people that end up having personal relationships with people on site that get the transfer across, and it's only a very tiny amount. And like I tell people, the people that I've met that have done this are extremely charismatic, people. And if you're prepared to build a relationship with somebody, and then they're prepared to offer you a job, it does happen. But it only happens on a very small scale, and it's only a tiny amount of people. It doesn't really happen very often. And as soon as you tell the story that you got in from a utility job into a mining job, everybody makes the assumption that you're a very charismatic person that had a relationship with somebody that allowed you to get yourself in. And that's just it, unfortunately. So it is what it is in respects to that. The next thing is that all the entry-level jobs are in iron ore and coal. With the automation of strip mines in the iron ore industry and now coal in Queensland, the focus for jobs within the mining industry has moved. Today, the majority of the entry-level jobs have moved to the gold, copper and silver base metal mines around the country, and the underground ones. There are a few open pit ones around that are looking for people, but the majority of the work's in underground mines. These mines require people, mostly underground mines, and they are located all around the country. In Western Australia, you can tell the jobs have moved by the number of recruitment companies that have moved their focus. They've moved their focus from iron ore to the hard rock underground area of the industry. It's a smart move. They've pivoted into an area of the industry that requires lots of people for years to come. Now, you can read how automation works in the industry, so there's a link there to that. The next one is the S11 is nationally recognised. Now, this is a big pet peeve of mine. The S11 is not nationally recognised by any other mining inspectorates around the country, only Queensland. It's an induction required for jobs on coal mines in Queensland. It will not help you get a job in any other state, or even a hard rock gold or copper mine or base metal mine in Queensland. These mines don't require it either, and again, I suggest you check the job ads for confirmation. The S11 has the same result as the R2 tickets with your resume. How do you think you look to employers? Hire me because I've done a coal mining induction for Queensland, even though your mine is a hard rock one in New South Wales. They just get cold on site. The research you do and the training that you undertake makes a huge difference in the result that you get. And that's why the training that we do with the Hard Rock Underground, it teaches you how it all works. So we teach you how we drill it, blast it, bog it out, put the ground support in, create the levels, make the stopes, and backfill it all with paste and leave it how we found it. So next one is the fantasy mining job, driving the big dump trucks up north. So what happened to the fantasy job in the age of automation? I won't lie to you, it's not good. Middle management in iron ore have made it their mission to replace as many truck drivers as they can. This is a video below that you can have a look at what's happening, and I've also made a video about this BBC article. BBC went over and interviewed Rio, and the Rio executives loved bragging about the fact that they've replaced every 25 truck drivers with one person in Perth. Automated controller has about one controller for every 25 autonomous trucks, according to Rio. So there you go. It's 25 trucks for every one autonomous controller. And it was the same thing with BHP. BHP put huge articles around saying that they wanted to reduce their people on iron ore sites from over 6,500 people in 2018 down to less than 900 in 2025. And since we've hit 2025, I believe that they are pretty close to that number. And that's why, you know, the biggest myth about going and getting one of these truck driving jobs on the surface, it's just not going to happen. You need to have a look at it, and that's why I do the mining truck jobs at the start of the video, so you can reassess what your dream job's going to be. You can still go and drive a truck, it just needs to be an underground truck instead of a surface one. So if you want to do that, then these are the packages that we offer. You can have a read of that and look through there. And if we come over to Seek and type underground in, you're going to see all the jobs come up, and there's lots of entry-level stuff around. A lot of the stuff says entry-level, but all the nipper and truck jobs, once you do the training, even if they're asking for experienced people, please apply to it, because they're not going to get anybody experienced, and you're the next best thing if you can talk to them about how it all works, and it's the way you'll get your job. But as you can see, there's just jobs all over the country: underground truck, AGI operators, entry-level New South Wales, expressions of interest New South Wales, Victoria, New South Wales again. All the big gold mines in New South Wales are really trying to ramp up at the moment, and they're struggling to find people. It's the same up in the north of Queensland and over here in WA around Kalgoorlie. There's lots of jobs around, you know, nipper jobs and truck jobs with burn cut. The fact that these ads are still up just shows you how desperate they are for people. You know, when they only need a small amount of people, they will leave the ad up normally for a couple of days because they'll get a huge response and they won't want to get swamped. But the fact that they're just leaving these job ads up just shows you how many people that they're going through. And it's not just burn cut that are doing it. It's Barminco and McMahon's and Redpath and, you know, AWX here. They've still got their job ad up, and there's lots of work just all over the country. So experienced truck driver. So if you've done the training, I'd get you to apply for that one. West Gold, the same thing. Experienced. Andy got a job there as a nipper recently, just before Christmas last year. Yeah, truck driving in Queensland. Again, the job ad's been up for 12 days. Underground truck in South WA again. More truck operating jobs. It's just jobs everywhere. So if you want to get in, the best thing to do is to use one of the training packages to educate yourself, the DIY, the 3-step plan, or the work ready, and then just start applying everywhere. And you'll get in. There's lots of work all over the country. If last week's video, I went through 4 people that have got jobs. There's a few more people that have gotten to the stage where they're interviewing and all that sort of stuff at the moment, so there'll be more people come through with jobs shortly. Yeah, there's heaps of work out there, but it's just a matter of giving them what they want, somebody that knows how it all works. So I hope you found that information helpful, and if you want to have a look at the myths about the mining industry, you can come over to this page here. It's in the new starters column, the 3rd one down, and have a read from there. But yeah, if you want to get in, the easiest way to get in is to learn how it all works, so you can hold a conversation with the foreman in the interview. When you can talk to them about how it all works, it puts you 6 to 8 weeks ahead of everybody else that's looking for these jobs, and that's how you're going to get one. So like I said, I hope you found that information helpful. If you could share the video around and like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks.